Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dorks, Dicks, and Destinies. This is the podcast that we're just getting started. We really don't know what we're doing yet, but we're going to figure it out. I am Chapel, and with me is my co-host Ken Slayer. How you doing, Ken?
I'm doing all right, Chapel.
Today we're going to talk about jobs, right? Just like
Yep.
generic, generic topic, just easy to go with, just stories about jobs. Um, so what's the best job you've ever had?
The best job?
Yeah, the best job
Um,
you've ever had.
that is an excellent question. I don't know about best, but I would say one of my funnest jobs was working for a pawn shop.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay. Any interesting stories?
Well, I mean, it is a pawn shop. Um, oh God, let's see here. Oh, you know what? I do have one. Normal day at work, right?
Yep.
I was about halfway in. The boss and his wife ran the shop, and this customer comes in, and we're looking at a big, stocky looking man, big gruff beard,
Okay.
and I see him come in with this black robe thing, just just walks in with it, and he comes up to the counter and he goes, "Hey man, you guys buy more interesting items?" I just looked at him. I was like, "What do you mean interesting?" Like, and he goes, "Well, I got something for you. I got just the thing." Wait, you're not gonna throw me out if I show you something, right? I was like, I mean, if you're not threatening me."
I mean, it depends on what you're trying to show me.
Yeah, I mean, if it is something that's illegal, he goes, "No, no, 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 it's not illegal. It's just provocative." I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Provocative."
Provo- Provocative. It's my penis. I'm here to show you
Uh,
my penis.
Dude, you're not far off, but it was not his penis.
Okay.
He unveils this thing, and it is a naked woman statue. But not only is it a statue, it's one of them. Oh, what do they call it? Like uh, a beer pong thing. Like you have to chug alcohol out of this thing. And the hose with the funnel starts in her mouth and all the way down where you drink from is straight out from underneath her.
Oh, that's fantastic. That makes me so want a beer from her. I want to be drinking this doll's vomit. Yeah, that's totally the party thing to do.
And my boss comes walking up and he looks at it, and I kid you not, he straight up groped the thing and he goes, "Huh, I was expecting plastic or something. These are soft." I'm like, this is my afternoon. This is my lunch. All of a sudden, next thing I know, I hear from the back room, "You better not buy that."
Oh,
That was the boss's wife.
well, you know what that means. He had to buy it at that point.
And I kid you not, he did. He bought that thing and took it out back into his van.
His wife's over there. You better not buy that thing. You better not tell me what to do. Now I'm going to do it.
Yep, I have no idea. I don't know if he still owns that to this day, but if he does, I bet it's not in the house.
Oh, man. So, I mean, I could tell you about my my favorite place to my favorite job I've ever had. Um, but it's boring because I just worked alone and I didn't work around anybody and I just did the same thing over and over. Real simple job, real easy, easy cash. But that's not interesting. I'll tell you about the medical facility I used to work at. There we go. Um, so I used to work at this medical facility. And when I started there, I was in the laundry department. And we did all of our laundry in house. And I worked on the dirty side when I started out.
Hmm.
So I was sorting through dirty laundry all day, every day. Like bad dirty laundry, like all kinds of stuff. You wouldn't believe some of the stuff I've seen.
I probably don't want to see what you see.
No, you do not. Um, this particular facility had some employees who, um, they had some mental deficiencies. We'll say we'll be polite about
Okay.
it, and
Okay.
the facility got a huge tax break for having them on as employees. So these people, because of the tax breaks, pretty much got away with anything. Like that includes like assaulting other like employees. Like
Alrighty then.
yeah, yeah. Um, so one individual, I won't say his name, but he okay. So to give you some context, when I started, he had already been working there for 12 years. Um,
Okay.
and our anyone who doesn't know us probably doesn't have an idea, but I'm a bigger dude. I'm a pretty tall guy, right?
Yep.
So this guy got into a fight with a guy that's bigger than me. We're talking like 6'4", 300 pound, like worked out every day kind of guy who was usually very calm, but not someone you wanted to go out and mess with. And this guy just walked up to him because they were in an argument, and he walked up to him and punched him in the stomach.
Okay then.
Yeah, this is not the individual in question is not a big dude. He's maybe 5'2", something like that. So the bigger guy had to be stopped because he was going to put this little guy in a dryer, like a
I mean,
gigantic industrial dryer. Like he was like, "You need a timeout."
I mean, hey, if he's gonna act like a wet noodle, just dry him off a little.
Mm-hmm. So this in particular dude, I'll use a fake name for him. We'll call him Tim.
Call him Tim.
Yep,
All right.
we're going to call him Tim. So Tim um had punched a guy and had was constantly complaining if he didn't get his way. He had a lot of issues. So one day on my weekend off, I wake up to a phone call,
Okay.
and it's my boss. He's like, "Hey, you need to come in. We had an emergency. There was a fire." And I'm like, "Oh shit. Uh, is everything okay? Was anyone hurt?" And he's like, "No, everyone's fine. But the entire department was nearly burned to the ground. The only reason why it wasn't worse than what it was because they got to it pretty quick with a fire extinguisher, but you know the building's mostly made out of concrete, so fire's not going to do anything to it.
Right.
So get over there. Spent 12 hours cleaning that place up. Come to find
Okay.
out, it was dude's fault. He like left a sheet in the ironer overnight with it superheated, and then when they lifted up the rollers in the morning, it set the place on fire. The sheet caught fire, then it fell, hit a bunch of lint underneath the machines. All that caught fire, like in the clean side of the laundry department. Like everything was on fire.
Oh Jesus. I mean, at least it was all clean, right? You didn't have to smell whatever
Yeah, whatever
whatever was in
whatever
it.
was burning. Yeah, no, all kinds of like iodine and blood. Yeah, no, I wouldn't have wanted to smell all that. So, and this is just one guy at this facility I worked at. There were several people that like I had issues with. One individual threatened to like he thought it was a joke, but he threatened to like stab me with his used insulin needle.
I'm I'm sorry.
Yeah, he had diabetes. After he gave himself his daily injection of insulin, he threatened me like he thought it was a joke. He threatened me with his needle. Like he didn't have a cap on or nothing. He was like, "I'm going to stab you with this."
I would have. I I don't even know what I would have thought. I probably would have looked at him and been like, Do you need to go to the hospital, sir?
Well, I mean, we were technically already there, but
Do you need to go to a different department, sir?
what I told him is that I simply explained to him, stop. That's not a joke. Don't ever do that again. And if you do, we're going to go off company property and we're going to have a long discussion, and only one of us is coming back. And I promise it's not going to be you. He didn't
I
bother
would
me
have just
after that.
I would have just taken his insulin away. Been like, look, if you want to threaten me with that, well then I'm gonna take this, cause you don't need it apparently.
Well, I didn't have any more issues after that. Like we and
I would imagine not.
and we got along great after that. Um, and then we had another guy who defecated in the floor of the men's bathroom. Um, and then said that I did it. That was a weird conversation to have in the middle of lunch, which he brought up.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, what?
Yeah, he waited until no one was around, and then he defecated in the men's bathroom in front of the lockers, because the lockers were also in the bathroom.
In front of the lockers,
Yes.
just took a big ol' shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
And then, like, during lunch, he's just like, hey, I heard there was, like, a big shit that was taken on the floor. Did you do that, Chris? What were you doing? And I was like, why would you think of all the people here that would possibly have done that? Why would it have been me? Like, I don't think that that's an appropriate way to behave. Why would you do that? I don't understand.
Why did you take a shot off? Oh, good God!
Yeah. The
This
how
was this was a this was a medical facility
Yeah.
you were working in.
Yeah. And the housekeeper that had to clean that up was not happy with him.
I would imagine not. Like it probably smelt bad.
Oh, and she was whew, she was mad. She was pretty furious. She was like, "What the heck?" Like she let everyone know she was pretty sure that it was him that did it. We
I
couldn't prove
mean,
it.
you probably could have if you worked in a medical facility. I mean, just saying.
Yeah, we probably could have if we like were willing to like go and do that, but I wasn't and she wasn't.
You didn't want to play with fecal matter.
I didn't want to play with the poo. No, not at all.
Oh, alrighty then. Huh. Jesus hell.
So, what about the worst job you've ever had?
Oh. Oh, the worst job. Wait, okay, so now we're going to the worst jobs. That wasn't your worst job.
No. No, it
That
was
was your
not.
best?
No, it wasn't my best. Remember I said my best was just a boring like overnight job where I didn't see anybody or really do anything.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. Where we left you alone for too long. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, worst job. Oh, I would probably say. So I worked for a third party company. It was like a cleaning service, right? And we got hired to work in a dog food factory.
Okay.
It was an overnight job. This third party company was contracted through the dog food factory. We came in at night when they shut down for business hours,
Okay. Yeah. Not a
and
problem.
this so there were two facilities at this factory. There was the what at the time what they called the old facility and the new facility. We would alternate between going between the old one and the new one.
Okay.
Um, that one I would probably say was definitely my worst. I honestly don't know how um this company got away with half of the stuff it did, if I'm being honest. Um, Probably just because they paid a lot, so no one said anything.
Yeah.
Like it was good money. Like it was really good money. I want to say it was weekly pay too.
Oh wow. Yeah. You don't see that much anymore these days.
No, unfortunately, I really wish that there was more weekly pays because it just helps a lot. But so I met my counterparts, as you would call them. Wouldn't really say I made any friends there. I
Okay.
couldn't understand half of them.
Okay.
Um, Not because of like, to make it clear, not because of ethnicity or anything like that. It's we were drunk most of the time. we
Oh, that's
we
fantastic.
did. Yeah. So here I am with like 3 flasks on me of booze. Granted, I shouldn't have done that. No, but I mean, hey, if you're gonna lock me in a room that's 120 degrees of dry heat and
You're going to
tell
need a
me to
sip.
go ahead and clean it, I'm gonna need a sip. I'm gonna need something to cool me off. Yeah, no. So they would like you would get so the factory super manager or not super managers. I don't know what you would call it. Supervisors, sorry.
Yeah.
They would have to stay on premises. They would have dedicated overnight supervisors that would come in at night and be on the property. So that way, the company is protecting its assets because they're not just going to let a bunch of third party people run around and do what they want. Um, but they every door to the facility had a I want to say it was a key card. You needed a key card to get in and out
Right.
of each section of this building. Well, we weren't allowed to have any of these key cards, and you got one. If you were lucky, you got one walkie like radio per room, or per squad, or however it was set up that night. So if you had to go to the bathroom, you better hold it till they come back and check on you, like hours later.
I would not.
Yeah,
I would just go find somewhere that I wouldn't get noticed and somewhere where it wouldn't be picked up, and yeah, I just do my business in my own privacy. And
dude, you think that was bad? You think I felt bad for this kid that came on board, right? Like he was younger. He was younger than me,
okay.
and
Now, how old were you at the time?
I was 19 or 20.
Okay, so we're talking about just out of high school kid.
Yeah, like this kid was like just legal to start working like an overnight job, stuff like that.
Okay.
And this kid gets to go in, what did they call it? You know what? I don't even know what they called it. I know it was a room full of vats, like big silver canister vats. And they had some sort of, I don't know, meat or something in them.
Okay. That's a little off-putting. It's like, hey, what do you got in here? Mystery meat.
No, it was turkey. They were known for cooking turkey, like turkey meat, and
Ah, okay,
mixing
I
it with
got
the
you.
food and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into more in case that's like a company secret or something, just because,
Yeah, but the idea is you were at a turkey plant.
Yeah, in a way, a turkey dog food facility.
Okay.
They made dog food there. That was the whole purpose.
Okay.
This kid got left. Like, we forgot about him. Even I forgot about him, and I felt so bad because all of a sudden, like I'm cleaning the hallways. I got a mop, and I'm just kind of doing my thing, and I got some music on playing, and next thing I know, I hear this like bang, 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 bang. I'm like, I turn down my music. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, at this point, I'm like 7 hours into my shift, and I still got like 6 more to go.
Right.
And I'm like, what the hell is that? And I started, I didn't hear anything for a minute. I'm like, okay, whatever. Must be a machine or something, you know. Someone must be moving it.
Right.
And I get to this door, and all of a sudden the door starts violently shaking, like back and forth. I'm like, oh, dude, is that guy still in there? I said on the walkie because I couldn't open the door. They locked the freaking thing.
Why?
You got me.
Who's gonna be going around like, oh, we gotta get this 4 tons of dog food, man. We're gonna make so much money off of it.
Yeah, let me get this rotting turkey brains that's in a vat. I want that. That sounds so good right now. And I shit you not. Like, management comes in, that supervisor person on duty comes over with the key. And this one wasn't even like a key card lock. Like, they had to pull out a key and unlock the door. We open it, and all of a sudden, this dude comes flying out of there, and he is covered head to toe in this meaty sludge.
Oh God, what happened to him? How did that happen?
Oh, one of the vats over flooded.
Was that like a normal thing?
Oh, dude, it was beyond normal. Like, I wasn't there physically when this had happened, but this was a horror story we were told when we got started. That so you don't leave this facility. The reason they pay so good is because you don't have a set you have a set time to show up, but you don't have a set time to leave. You get to leave when the facility is clean.
Okay, so like a vat overfilling, because I've worked with this stuff before. It's not like it just keeps pumping and no one has any control over that. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah, so like this vat is something had happened to this vat while the dude was cleaning. I'm wondering if he accidentally hit something because he had a power sprayer. Like, what was it? Like a 60,000 psi power sprayer. Like this thing would if you had to actually be careful with this thing, you could not aim it towards anybody. It would cut them in half.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, these are our deep cleaning tools. So I'm wondering if he hit something and it just launched the frickin' thing.
Like hit a release on the vat and it just spills
Yeah.
out.
And he
Yeah.
had no idea what he did because, you know, you're sitting there trying to focus on keeping this giant, what looked like a Spaz 12 shotgun with a hose attached to it.
Yeah.
You're trying to keep it steady. Yeah, no. So he came out of there. He was not happy. We weren't happy. I wasn't happy. I had to re-clean my floor. I was like, dude, I just mopped this. Like, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
fuck, man. Yeah, we had something like that. Oh god, there was my buddy. I did have one friend there. He actually we had started together. I'm just gonna go ahead and call him. I don't even have a fake name for him. We'll just call him L Man.
L Man?
L Man.
Not like Turkey Todd or anything like that?
No, 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 no. He might if he heard our podcast, he might come over and beat me up for calling him Turkey Todd.
Okay. Okay, fair enough.
No, better yet. No, he did have a nickname, Hoe Slayer. We'll call him the Hoe Slayer.
The Hoe Slayer. I love it.
The Hoe Slayer. That is his title.
Just out there sneaking in hoes into the plant in the middle of the night. Like, supervisor's not gonna be here for 3 hours.
I don't know about
bucks.
look. I don't know about that, but I'm pretty sure I don't have proof, but I am pretty sure the reason the supervisor was always gone was because he was gone with her. Just saying.
Oh, oh. So the supervisor was the hoe, and he was slaying supervisors. The supervisor slayer. I love it.
Yeah, pretty much. So we get in, and this room, we're on like the third level. This is a massive facility.
Okay.
You know, it's got multiple layers in it.
Right.
And we realized it was kind of strangely warm and very humid in this room. More so than what it usually is, especially when we just started, because we hadn't started the the deep scrubbing yet. That's not until way later.
Okay.
It's the initial wipe down and cleaning out the some of these parts and machines.
Right.
And so he got inside of this thing. We opened her up. It's pretty warm, pretty toasty, but we were 3 sheets to the wind, and we didn't care. We figured it was just a hot and humid night for inside this factory. We did not get told by the supervisors of this facility that those machines got shut down late that night. They did not get shut down on time.
Okay.
We were not told this. He crawled in there. We had to get 4 guys to peel him out of this thing.
Oh, jeez.
He was melting. His hands were stuck and instantly started melting into the side of this machine.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it was not good. Like, I was standing there, and all of a sudden we open her up. He's about to crawl inside, and all I start hearing is him screaming. Host Slayer is just screaming, and I'm like, I look over and I see that it's starting to smoke up a little bit, from the heat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit, we need to get guys up here now. And luckily, we had a couple other pretty decent sized guys that were nearby in one of the other machines. And they come over, we pull them out, we get on the radio, we tell them, hey, we got an accident. This guy's got severe burns on him. Supervisor hands Host Slayer an ice pack and asks him if he can still perform his duties for the night.
Bitch, call a fucking hospital. Get an ambulance for this man. What the?
No, I tell you what, Host Slayer straight up looked at her, or him, I don't remember who it was that night, looks at them and goes, fuck you, fuck your job, fuck your bullshit, I'm out. Next thing I know, he goes into his locker, pulls out a giant bottle of brandy that probably should not have been on the premises.
I mean, you guys were all drunk all the time anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Fairly at this point, it really didn't matter. And next thing I know, I see him go outside. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing it's winter.
Oof.
Because at least now you got something to put, your burnt hand in. He never went to the hospital.
Oh man, yeah, he probably should have.
Yeah, by closer analysis, you would actually notice that half of these guys, myself included, actually, but not, well, myself included only in a different sense. I'll get to that here in a second. Most of these guys had chemical and heat burns, like scars, all over their arms, their hands, their face. And I was like, how long have you guys worked here? And the 2 big guys that helped out, they're like, oh, I don't know, 10 years, something like that. Where'd you get all those scars? From here. Yeah, all from here.
Like, part of me wants to go, this isn't Soviet Russia, right?
Yeah, literally, like, good God. And granted, that was in the new facility. That wasn't even in the old facility that we had to go and clean.
Right.
That one was bad.
Yeah, let me think. I think hands down the worst job I ever had was at a distribution facility for a grocery store. I hated that job.
Distribution facility for grocery stores. You'll have to elaborate a little bit more on that one.
So what they do is they hold all of the dry goods for a specific chain of grocery stores.
Oh, okay. So like a warehouse.
Yeah, yeah. And what you do is you make the orders there to send out to the different grocery stores all over the country.
Okay, so you're loading up the trucks.
Yeah. Well, what you do is the way they do it is they load up pallets, and you do 2 pallets at a time, and each pallet is, or the 2 pallets together or an order.
Okay.
But they want you to do 1,200 cases in 2 hours. And they didn't pay you enough. They didn't care what you were going through. They didn't care, what was going on in your life. It was come in, get done. We don't care what you got going on. We don't care if it takes half an hour for you to get home. And you're super tired. Come in, do your stuff, and then go home. And I, at the time, was working, I was going there, and I was also working, or not working, but I was going to college. And I was getting maybe 4 hours of sleep every day. So after a
Oof.
while, I just said, or no, the week of Thanksgiving, they I'm coming in to clock in. They're like, we need to talk to you. I said, okay. And they're like, we're just waiting. I can't remember what the supervisor's name was, but they said, we're just waiting for the supervisor. And I said, is this what I think it is? And they go, well, I don't know. What do you think it is? And I said, you know what? I voluntarily quit. And I just left.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
Which,
mean, hey, it's better on your record if you know you if you quit a job than showing a termination of firing.
yeah. Yeah. Actually, as I handed in my name badge, he goes, smart man. So, yeah.
So he even admitted,
Yeah.
even admitted, it was like, hey, I pulled you in here to fire you.
Well, it wasn't him. He wasn't the one we were waiting on. That person hadn't even
Oh,
gotten there yet. Like, because I was still an employee, he couldn't technically just say, "Yeah, we're about to fire you."
right. Yeah. No, that's understandable. You know, it's you can't say certain things.
I think that's stupid. I don't think. I think my personal belief is everything should be a two-way street. So if you're not allowed to lie to your employer, they are not allowed to lie to you for any reason.
Right.
They can say something in a specific way or in a different way to to lessen the blow and make things a little easier on you, but they shouldn't be allowed to just outright lie to you.
Right. Right. No, I 100% agree with that. I really do. It's it's already hard enough like sometimes for all these people to like even just to be able to make it to work, you know.
Yeah, because sometimes you wake
And
up in the morning and you're like, man, I don't know, I don't have it in me today,
yeah.
and you still got to force yourself to go.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I can agree with that wholeheartedly. Like I personally I don't drive, so I walk. And so for me, you know, having a full-time job, it doesn't matter if it's raining or if there's like a storm or if there's lightning crashing down everywhere. Like I still have to go to work, you know.
Yeah,
So it's that's already difficult enough just on that aspect alone. And then to sit there and especially on days like say it's like storming out and you know it's raining nonstop. Well, now I'm stoked at work and I got to be there for what however long a shift is. You know,
yeah,
that's a long time to sit there soaked. Now you're risking sickness and stuff like that, which then would also affect your work ethic.
right. I think a lot of different things affect the work ethic, like how they treat you, how your coworkers treat you.
Oh,
What kind of job you
absolutely.
have.
Yep. What kind of job you have? Like if you work around people or work with heavy machinery or, you know, anything.
Okay. So, what would you say the most interesting job you've ever had is?
Most interesting. Um, I'd probably still have to go back to the whole pawn shop thing. That you pick up so much at at a place like that. Like it's amazing to see how many civilians just have a or pedestrians or whatever you want to call them have a story for like everything. I mean everything. Like go ahead, name something random. Say you came into my shop and you want to pawn something to me.
Okay. I'd probably come in with I don't know, an alarm clock.
An alarm clock. You know what? I think I've had a couple people try that.
Okay.
Uh, so you came in with an alarm clock.
Yeah.
And as I'm looking up the price and the brand and everything of this alarm clock and, you know, doing deductions and checking, you know, checking on websites, stuff like that. As I'm just trying to sit there and do my job, I am getting the longest earful story about how your life is going and why you came in with an alarm clock and you want $400 from me.
Okay.
And I'm just sitting there like,
Dude, I can't
you
even give you
know,
$20 for this alarm clock, much
I
less
can't, yeah, I'm
400. I'll
like,
give
I
you
can't even
50.
give you $20 for this. Like, this is, where did you buy this? At your grocery store? Did you buy it from a friggin' flea market? Like, this is nothing special about this. It's got red lights, 3 buttons, and a cord.
Yep.
I'm sorry, do you have a cat? Because it looks like this cord's been chewed on.
It was a dog.
It was a dog. Okay. Thank you for clarifying me. Take your piece of junk and get out of my shop. Like, it's just stuff like that. You'd see all these, like, don't get me wrong, there were some cool stuff. Some stuff
Yeah.
was really cool coming in.
Like, if
Some
somebody
people
comes
just,
in, like, I imagine if somebody comes in with, like, a guitar or, like,
oh god, I tell you what, I absolutely hate when people come in with guitars.
really?
Oh, I hate it. Don't get me wrong. I love music as much as the next guy, maybe even a little more than I should. But when you get a guy that comes in with a guitar, oh man, he's got to try to tell you. He's got to tell you what it is, how many songs he can play on it. Like, oh, do you want a demonstration? No, I really don't want another demonstration. I don't want to hear you play. I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear that. I don't care what brand it is. It says it right on there. It says it right on the guitar. You can't tell me that it was anything else.
I would have loved to have been your coworker at that time. Because
Oh
I
my
would have
god,
been the
I'm
person
telling
that
you.
I would have been, you would have hated me. You would have absolutely hated me. Because you would have been like, no, I don't want to hear. And I would be like, play Freebird.
You know how many people would sit there and play Freebird? You know how fucking annoying that is?
Yeah, yeah, I do. That's why I would say it's
Let me play Freebird for you. Let me try to play Metallica Enter Sandman for you. No, thank you.
Stairway to Heaven.
Shut up, Chapel. No, dude, like I'm telling you, and then you get some of these guys who would sit there and try to sit there and I played or this guitar was given to me by this famous person. Oh, okay. Do you have proof? Do you have signed documentation?
Yeah.
Do you have photographic evidence of said receiving with, again, a signed documentation signature from said person?
Well, I mean, that would definitely raise the value up. But yeah,
That would be the only thing that would make the value raise up. You know how many people say that they got this and that from this and that?
but they can't prove
Like,
it.
but they can't prove it. Exactly. Like, there's even some, granted, there's some stuff that came in that did have signatures on it, like really fancy looking signatures. Then you could tell, like, this was like a professional grade, signature.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Someone
only
who's done it.
problem was, yeah, but the only problem is you would end up getting this person that would be like, you need photographic evidence that this was handed to me. Yeah, actually, that you do. It's for authenticity because if you don't come back for this, I got to try to sell this.
Yeah,
Now that's just the way it works.
yeah,
And I did feel bad for some of those people like that because they had no idea. Like, good God,
yeah.
they didn't even.
You don't
Some of
think
those
when
people
you
didn't even want to be there to begin with.
yeah
Some of them, and those are the ones that I liked the most. The ones that didn't want to be there pawning or whatever, but they didn't give you a super long story. It was, I'm not having a good day. What can you give me for this? This is how much I need. And then you barter with them. Wheel and
yeah
deal, do this. They're like, all right, you know what? I'll take it. Cool. I will be back. Yeah, they all say that. If they come back, awesome. less inventory for me to deal with.
Right. And the thing is they're not there to try to sell you something.
Right.
Like that
Usually.
was that was the point. They're not there to try to scam you or take advantage of you or your
They just
store.
needed a little extra help for a
Yeah.
week.
Yeah, I get that. And I can
I
understand
tell you what.
why that would be your favorite kind of customer because you don't have to worry about them going, yeah, I don't have documentation or anything, but Lars of Metallica signed this drum set for me.
Right. Right. Yeah. And so it's definitely an interesting place to be. There are many, 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 many different kinds of pawn shops. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to say one of the ones I worked at was actually fairly good. Like we tried really hard to keep everything clean and we went through so many DVDs, movies, stuff like that, just to make sure it wasn't all scratched up and beat up, and because no one wants that.
Right.
You're coming into a pawn shop, yeah, you're not expecting top grade, but you're expecting something other than lowest grade.
Yeah. You're like you're coming for a cheap deal, not to just spend money on fucking garbage.
Exactly. So what about you? What's your most interesting job?
Most interesting. Let me think that over, because that's kind of a doozy. Medical facility was pretty interesting. Probably the first nursing home that I worked at.
Okay.
Um, that that was in the South where I'm from. Um,
Mhm.
we had a few different people that lived there, and I was a housekeeper there. Real interesting people worked there. Real interesting people lived there. We had a woman that was not really in her right mind, but she was a kleptomaniac. So she kept like going into other people's rooms and stealing their stuff. And she would just walk around holding it like it was hers, like it belonged to her. And when you tried to take it away, she was like, "No, that's mine. What are you doing?" And she would look at you like you were the nastiest person on the planet.
Okay then.
Um,
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but kleptomaniacs, the term for that is someone who has an obsession with things. Is that right? Like, no matter if it's theirs or not, like they just have to have it.
I believe that's right. Yeah, it's
Okay.
usually associated with theft, but I don't. I believe it's a obsession with things. I believe that's correct. I could be wrong, and if anyone listens or if anyone is listening and wants to correct me, please do so in the comments. But I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Well, then at this point, you might as well call me a kleptomaniac for anime figurines, because I tell you what, I love them.
Ooh, that's
Anywho,
pretty. Y Ken,
right?
you can't have that. I promise when I get done, you're going to want to give it to me.
Oh fuck! Gotta call me out like that, you bastard. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I do.
So, anywho,
Yeah, so okay, so this one lady at the nursing home, this old black woman,
Mhm.
sweetheart. Just so we're clear, she was a sweetheart. Killed her husband and his gay lover when she walked in on them, like in her bed having sex. Like I even asked her
what?
about it, and she was like, "Yeah, I killed both of them." She
And
she she walked in, saw what was going on, grabbed a gun, and shot them both.
I guess I'm more curious. Is it because? And no offense to this
LGBT
community.
community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely no offense
yeah, yeah.
whatsoever.
No, no,
Hope you know that.
no, no.
Well,
We don't.
was it because they were gay, or was it because he was cheating on her?
I
Like,
I
did
think
you
it was.
ask?
I think it was a combination of both. And
Okay, so she was
and
just like, "Oh hell no."
yeah, and just so we're clear, I don't condone that action. but
No, absolutely not. That's
it was
messed up as all
ruled.
hell.
It was ruled that she did like temporarily go insane seeing that, and because I'm sure she's passed by now because
Right.
she had, she, this was several years ago. I was in that place, and she had been in there for 20 years when I showed up.
Oh, oh my. Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah, she like that was her permanent place to be.
yeah. Like this was if it took when it took place, it had to be like at the absolute latest the 60s. So we're talking like 40s, 50s, and 60s that this would have happened in.
Okay. Okay. So this is like some serious time lapse on all that kind of stuff. It's
Yeah,
not like something like that it happened today.
right. It's not like the kind of reaction you would get today.
Yeah, because at this point, the reaction you would just get today is, "You're cheating on me? Are you kidding me? I know I don't care who it was with. Why did you cheat on me?"
Yeah, either that or just you start throwing their shit at them and telling them to get the fuck out of your house.
Right, at least that's what I would consider a more sane person would do. My
Yeah,
first instinct is not to grab a gun and start unloading shells. This is not Shawshank Redemption.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. I forgot that's what he went to prison for in the movie. But yeah,
Yeah, that was the whole start of it, just unloading shells.
which is funny because that's not what happened. Like
Right.
his character had been innocent that entire movie. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, she was kind of proud of it too, and I was like, man, it's like calm
Jesus.
down.
I mean, I guess, if it's. I mean, not to defend her by any means, but, if something like this happened in, like, what, the 60s, like,
Yeah,
just
no,
taking a look back
the
at, like,
mentality
all
of
the.
that day
Yeah, all the
was
development, the mentality of it, and not to mention, like, how society was. Like, maybe she had a right to be kind of proud, like, she
yeah,
stood up against,
yeah.
um.
I mean, I'm sure in her mind she goes, "Well, till death do us part, motherfucker. Guess who's about to go?"
I guess. I mean, hey, she certainly ain't. Sounds like she wasn't on the market after that.
No, not to the best of my knowledge. She never got with anybody after that. In fact,
Yeah.
now that I think about it, um, the only time her kids ever saw her was to come visit her during Christmas and ask her for money, of all things.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me pull out my pocketbook of all my wealth and riches that I am enveloped in this what I'm assuming is a hellhole for me, and give you some money. Go buy a lollipop, you fucking degenerate.
Oh, they were apparent from what I found out that uh, the only the only people that came to see her was her sons, and they were both like severe drug addicts.
Oh, lovely. Of course. Yeah, she was. So you could tell she was real proud.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
that's.
I'm starting to feel bad for this lady. Like, am I getting some sort of Stockholm's here? Just hearing for
I
this lady.
mean, she
Like, was she at least nice to you? Like, was she
sometimes she was nice to me,
sometimes?
but
Okay.
she was also like a heavy smoker, and if she didn't have her nicotine fix, she was a bitch.
I might know what that's like
Yeah.
as I'm puffing on a giant vape.
Um. Yeah. No. She was. If she was like when she got in one of her moods, it was all hands. Anybody.
It was all hands on deck.
All hands on deck. Anybody that walked into there was getting blasted. It didn't matter what they were in there for.
Awesome.
Yeah, I could
So
see
she
it now.
was.
I'm here bringing you your lunch. I don't want no fucking lunch. I want my motherfucking cigarette.
Oh God. So was there anyone else in that place that was of key interest?
Several people.
Several people.
we had one individual. She was the youngest person there, and at that time, she was about 3 or 4 years older than what I am now.
I'm not even gonna try. I remember
She
what
was
happened
she
last
was
time.
she was in her 40s,
Oh, okay.
and the reason she was in there was because she had been cheating on her husband, and her husband decided that while he was driving down the road, he was going to kick her out of the side of his truck. And I think he was doing
I'm
like
sorry. Was the name of your facility We Cheat around here? Like, I'm starting to notice a pattern.
like this was a mental health and rehab facility,
Okay, okay.
and she was the only other one that I knew had cheated on her spouse, but she or her significant other,
Yep.
and he kicked her like he was doing 40 when he kicked her out of his truck.
Good God.
Yeah, she
You know, I
she
mean, that's not the fastest, but that's not
that's
a.
enough to kill you.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. It is.
she she lost her leg and was like had the mentality of like a horny 14-year-old girl, like just
Oh,
all the time horny, but was stuck, with no release. And
that's
that
that's
was
uncomforting.
yeah, because she was constantly like I would go in there and I was one of the only males in that facility, and she was constantly asking me to do stuff to her, and I was like,
Jesus.
I can't do that. Like, and that's not the only like I got propositioned in that particular facility. I got propositioned all the time. I would go into a room, and there was one gentleman who at one point this guy he looked up at me. He goes, "Can I suck your dick?" No,
What?
no, you can't. And he goes, well, why not?
Oh
Oh my
hell!
God, no, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
What did they think they were stuck in a brothel?
Well, like I said, some of them didn't know they weren't all in their right minds.
Oh, right.
Um,
No, I get that, but
there
good
was,
God.
yeah, there was another little lady, and when I say little, I mean she might have been 4'11" and might have weighed 60 pounds soaking wet. Well,
Oh my God.
I'm sweeping out her room, right? I'm sweeping it
Yep.
out. I'm getting ready to mop it, and she wakes up because she was down. She was been laying down for a nap, and she wakes up and she goes, "I know you sledded with my daughter, but you ain't sledded with me yet." And I'm sitting there going, "You know what? I'll come back and mop later."
Uh, I guess my stupidity would have sat there and went, "Who's your daughter?"
Yeah, I mean, I thought about that,
Like,
but as old as she
like.
was, her daughter was probably older than my mom,
Oh,
and
okay,
that was a
okay.
little
So,
disgusting.
okay, so I would have been like, all right. So it's not like she was a younger gal.
Yeah. No, no. This she was probably in her 80s. Like
Oh, oh, okay.
this wasn't even like a GG MILF. This is like a GGG MILF.
Oh God, we got the triple rating up in here.
I
Let me
mean,
mop later. I'll come back when your sleeping pills have kicked in.
yeah, pretty much. Um oh, so that the younger lady, she
Yep.
had this roommate. I can't. I don't remember her name, which is fortunate because I can't be saying it anyway. That's a HIPAA violation. Um,
Right.
So the other lady kept getting pissed off at the younger one because the younger one kept flipping her off and thinking it was funny. And eventually, her roommate had had enough. And after she ate her lunch, she threw all the stuff off of her tray, picked up her tray, and hit her in the face with it, with her tray, like it was
Oh
a
my
steel
God.
chair.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was impressive, actually.
Like this is like this shit. This sounds like in a later adulted version of Girl Interrupted. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Where's Angelina Jolie? Put her in the
She couldn't handle it because some of the stuff that happened, they just couldn't handle it.
Apparently, good God.
Yeah,
Oh my God, that's this.
yeah,
This is an average Tuesday. Don't worry about it. They'll settle down after the tranquilizers kick in.
yeah. Well, okay. So the way this facility worked is that there was one side for like the severely like the severe dementia patients, and that
Okay.
side was actually had doors that you had to know the code to unlock to get in.
Right. Right. You know,
And
for their, for, I'm assuming for their safety. You
yeah,
know.
for their safety, because and oh my gosh, they were constantly trying to get out of the building. So
I mean, if you were my caretaker, I'd try to run away too. But I
I
mean,
wasn't
that's
even I wasn't even the caretaker. I was just a housekeeper at this point. I was just a janitor, just sweeping, taking out the trash, cleaning up the bathroom. That's all I was doing. I wasn't
oh,
going.
that's different. I'd personally, me personally, I'd make your life even harder. I mean, I already do at work.
We don't have to talk about our current employment. I don't see why that's necessary. We're over here talking to each other like we actually like each other, and then you have to go and remind me of my employment. To any of our coworkers that are listening to this, we're just joking. We love where we work at.
Yeah, it's actually not. I'd say it's one of my better jobs. But anywho, so dementia ward.
Yeah. So, oh, we had another woman, and this woman was. We had two that were constantly trying to escape. One was in a wheelchair, and the other one was the one that hit the lady in the face with the tray. And
Okay.
so we had like out the side of our building, there's like a steep incline that goes up a hill.
Hmm.
And there were two particular instances that I remember. One was the fire alarm got set off because somebody was vaping inside the building, and it set the fire alarms off. Those fire alarms are super sensitive. Well, when the fire alarms would go off, all the electronic locks would stop working. So
Okay.
when that happened, one of the lady that hit the woman with the tray went out one of the emergency exits, and we were looking for her, and we came out the side, and we found her. She was sitting on the incline. She was like, "Nope, I can't do it. Just take me back." Here, she offered her arms. She was like, "I can't do it." She had maybe got 3 feet up that hill, and she was just like, "Nope, I can't do it. Take me back." Now the
Well,
other,
at least they came back.
yeah, now the other one that was in the wheelchair. Now this is hilarious. She she would watch the fire alarms. She would wait till no one was looking. She'd creep up in her little wheelchair, like scoot herself up, pull that fire alarm, and then rush as fast as she could roll herself to the emergency door. So there were several times we had to stop her after she hit the alarm.
What are you doing? Stop it!
Yeah. Come back here. You can't go out there. Why not? I'm trying to get out of here. Can't you help me? Can't you get me in your car and take me home? No, ma'am. I can't do that.
All right, Speed Racer. I need you to go back into your room.
What was really cool about this facility was that on each side, both the dementia and the the people who needed assistance side,
Yep.
both of those sides had a garden that was enclosed. So if they wanted to go outside, all they had to do was just go out into the garden. It was
Okay.
really nice, actually.
Well, that's cool. You get your free will yard time.
Yeah.
No, that's not bad at all.
No, it's not. There were, yeah, it was. That was a crazy time.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, yeah,
You got people trying to offer you some free services.
yeah,
You got people that want you to give them some free services.
yeah,
And you got Speed Racer in the corner that's eyeballing that fire alarm like it's a fucking English muffin.
yeah. It was, it was something. It really was.
It sounds like it.
So, what else have you done outside of like the retail? Because we both work retail now, and I know
Hmm.
you've worked in the tattoo parlor, and I know you worked in as a or in a pawn shop.
Yeah.
So is there are
So
there any other jobs that I don't know about?
yeah, I mean, I've worked some light construction, nothing big. Really wasn't. I mean, I loved it, but my body didn't. So wasn't really quite the suitable job for me.
I get that.
Done a little bit of that, some landscaping. That's actually really fun. I love to be outside in the summer. I don't care how hot it is outside. You'll see me out there. I mean, I don't even have the AC on in my place. I haven't turned it on since I moved in.
Yeah.
Um, Worked some food industry. Um, on both sides of the spectrum, like a little more fast food and some light restaurant. Actually, funny enough, I did give my housekeeper. I've been a housekeeper,
Okay.
and I did try. So it wasn't a medical facility. It was like a linen laundry facility
Okay.
for the medical facilities.
So
Like
somewhere that's like where some places outsourcing its laundry.
right, like we would get all the laundry, all the sheets, all the blankets, all that kind of stuff. And then like it was our job to, wash it, clean it, sterilize it, fold it back up, make it ready again.
Fair enough.
Um, I kid you not, I made it like 3 hours, and then I left.
Really?
Yeah, I only made it like 3 hours.
I
Uh,
mean,
to be to be fair, it was also one of my first overnight jobs that I had had in years since since the factory.
okay.
But and I didn't properly prepare myself, so I died that night a little bit inside. I was so tired, I was about to pass out in the dryer,
Oh
and I was
yeah.
like,
The,
I
when
was like, nope, nope.
man, when it's winter and those dryers are warm, oh man, it's
Oh
hard
yeah,
not
I'm telling you.
to just use that like a just like I'm just gonna lay here and be done.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay here. And we didn't have any supervisors or anything either. Like it was all like a trust in the work type thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And no one had any conversations with each other. Like from when I was there, like I noticed people didn't really talk to each other. Everyone just kind of put in headphones, didn't really give a damn, and was like, "Yeah, I'm just here to make a paycheck. This job sucks, but whatever."
Yeah.
So
Believe me,
that
I know
didn't help.
exactly where you're coming from. We
I
could
maybe would have made it if there would have been like a conversation at least.
yeah,
Like
someone to
God,
talk to.
yeah,
Yeah. No, we couldn't do that at the medical facility. There were too many women there to go, to give their tea and, for you to sip on. So
yeah,
I'm out here. I'm like, I'm talking to different. Uh, it was me. There was three other guys, one of which wound up leaving. That was the dude who threatened me with the insulin needle, and he didn't get along with the he didn't get along with the other two guys either.
yeah,
Um, but then when I went to the clean side, I was only working with the one that had accidentally set the place on fire.
yeah.
So that schedule was really intense for a long time for me. Um, so the way it would work is I would come in at 5 in the morning and start washing stuff. Then I would go around to the clean side and load all the dryers for them to be done for the people that came in at 7.
Right.
And then I would just be sorting stuff. And then I would work, I would do that, go on first break, have breakfast, go on second break, have lunch, come back from lunch, work a little bit longer, and then they would, because I was a lead, I had to make all the deliveries to the facilities outside of where we worked, and that um, They didn't have that ready until 3 in the afternoon after I had gotten there at 5 in the morning. And then
Oh man,
some of the places were so far off, I sometimes wouldn't get back till 9 p.m. at night.
Jesus.
So I'm not sure if you've ever seen that meme where it's like, the start of your day and it's like nighttime, and then like the end of your day and it's like nighttime. But I posted that on Facebook, and one of my friends was like, "Oh yeah, I love working the night shift." And I said, "I work the day shift."
Yeah.
So it was interesting. I've had some other interesting jobs. I've worked in a couple chemical plants. Those were interesting.
Okay.
I've worked in a carpet mill.
Carpets.
Yeah. We didn't even make carpet. We just made the yarn that they cut and glued to make the carpet.
So I can't call you a carpet licker.
I mean, you can. What else have I done? I've worked retail and restaurants, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Been a delivery driver for a pizza restaurant. Um, I worked at that warehouse. I did a lot of manufacturing jobs. I've worked for Whirlpool twice. Once for customer service, which was the second time, but the first time I worked in their factory.
You want to give me a good deal on a good washer and dryer?
No, no, I don't.
Well, then screw you. I'm not interested.
Which I didn't know this until I got hired on at the customer service facility. But Whirlpool owns a lot of brands that a lot of people aren't familiar with. They own Amana, Maytag, Whirlpool, Kenmore. They also own what is that? They own like 9 brands.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of brands.
Um,
Okay, that's cool.
you find out all kinds of stuff when you start working for a place. The chemical
Yeah, that's true.
plants, the chemical plants were another thing. Like I had never seen like chemical pools where stuff would just live, but I've seen like at a chemical plant like this pool of water, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't just water. Like it smelled, it had an odor to it, and there were like leeches that lived in this chemical, like just swimming around. It was clear enough for you to see them.
Weird.
Yeah, they weren't very big. They were maybe half an inch to an inch long. But I wouldn't be sticking any part of my body in that stuff anytime soon.
I imagine not.
We had these, and they had these big vats that were like basically open top mixing tanks. But then we had other stuff that was like we had one that was a reactor that had coils in it that would electrify the chemicals while it's being made. And then we had
Right.
another thing that was like it was like an auger where it was a cylinder set on its side and it would just roll, and it had these rocks in it that would crush the stuff down. And that, like, whenever I was filling that up, I had to climb on top of this unstable cylinder, like on its side, and like try to maneuver like 400 pounds of chemical and pour this in by hand without screwing up. That was a job. And then I
Oh, I
got
bet.
yeah, and then I went to the shipping stuff, and then I found out that they would, like, a lot of people don't know this, but multiple companies do this. Companies will buy stuff from another company and then resell it as their own stuff for just a little bit more.
Oh,
So like if you ever think something like a couple brands might be the same thing, they might be actually. One might just be buying from the other one and then relabeling it as their own stuff.
so if it says it's made in USA but looks like it's made in China, look for the made in China sticker.
Yeah, or a lot of U.S. companies wouldn't do that because they consider China lower quality. But I know stuff.
Yeah, now I tell you what's an oxymoron. What's funny,
Okay.
speaking about stuff like that.
Yeah.
You can buy some made in USA tags, and it actually says underneath them made in China
Yeah, I
on
believe
the
that.
other side. It's like, That's the biggest oxymoron I'd ever seen.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, man. Oh, what else did I do? I did work at this other chemical plant. I didn't work there very long, but the guy who replaced me wound up getting killed because he didn't seal a reactor properly, and whenever he turned it on, it exploded.
Lovely.
Yeah. They actually had to evacuate every building on that street because the chemical that was released was so toxic you couldn't breathe the air, and a lot of people wound up having to go to the hospital. It was a thing. It was pretty bad.
Sounds like it.
Yeah. Of course, that was
Good.
that was years ago. That wasn't anything recent. So.
All right, but still, good God. Well, Chapel, I this has been entertaining and insightful to say the least.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It has been. I hope this has been entertaining for everybody listening. If anybody's left listening, they're
Yeah,
probably halfway through. They're like, these guys are just fucking boring.
yeah. Well, that's all right. Don't worry, folks. This is just the introduction. If you take a look at what our title name is, it's bound to get more fucked up and strange as time goes on.
Oh yeah, yeah, it is. I can't wait to get started. I have like a few ideas of what we could do. Ghost and Dyson spheres and all kinds of stuff.
Oh God, I'm gonna have to prepare myself for that.
We will. I will try to get us set up a schedule so that we can post that up and people will have an idea of what to expect next.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I think we're going to call it here. You guys have a wonderful day.
See y'all.